All right, we are live. What is up, people? The internet, it is me, Real
What?
American, back in with a new stream. And as you can tell, we're joined by Mr. Yay.
Why am I
Hello.
here?
I don't know, it Maga Mao just joined. And what is your
I just
profile
checked.
now? What
I
is
don't know.
this?
Someone liked one of my posts with this PFP on Twitter,
Is
so I
that
had to.
Nixon? Oh my gosh.
Dude, it's
I don't
yeah,
know,
dude.
bro. Someone,
Dude,
yeah, someone on Twitter with this PFP liked one of my posts the other day, so
Oh gosh.
naturally I had to steal it.
Yeah, so everybody, I hope everyone's had a great day. I'm having a great day myself on this beautiful March 24th, 2026. We have a lot of news breaking today. We got to talk about the DHS funding as the Senate GOP is about to do a deal that I have some pretty big issues with. I think
we
it's
have our we
very
had our
risky.
first we had our first Wisconsin poll yesterday, and also we're gonna see in 45 minutes if Hong momentum is continuing in the Democratic primary, according to Marquette, because their poll is coming out in
Yeah.
45 minutes.
So we have a lot to talk about today, but before we get into it, don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, to join the channel today. These are all great ways to support the daily content. And if you have any questions or concerns or want to support the channel even further, best way is sending super chats via the chat. Again, I'll read through as much chat as possible, but usually super chats are the best way to get your questions answered. Already, we got a couple super chats. K Cup for 2, title over black pill incoming, but it's Thune. So it's not really a black pill. I have an issue with the deal they're making. So for those that don't know, DHS is currently defunded right now. I think everybody knows that. Except for ICE, funny enough. I find it funny the one department they want to cut is not defunded.
yeah,
So
ICE and Border Patrol both have funding for the next 3 or 4 years, I think.
yeah, so
Yeah, because that was from the Big Beautiful Bill, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So what's the
Yeah.
first of all, what's the point then?
Well, the point is they want to make Americans' lives hell because they think it'll push Republicans to defund ICE entirely in exchange for TSA
Yeah.
funding. That is that is the move. That
Sure.
is exactly what they're doing. It is literally, oh, we can't defund ICE, but what we'll do is we'll defund we'll defund things that are like that if defunded make Americans' lives hell to pressure Republicans into just abolishing border security and mass deportations.
Well, that's what we're saying now. Like that is the average Democrat position. They want to abolish ICE now, or just defund it, which just means get rid of it. It's the
Can I
same
just
shit.
say,
But, oh, go on.
what a perfect political system we have, where the party that lost the last election can basically hold the government hostage unless the ruling party
Yeah,
supports their
I've always
viewpoint
believed for government
that cost
shutdowns,
them
it
the
should
last
not be.
election.
I think government shutdowns we should get rid of them. I think it should just be the prior budget for the prior year.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
every other country in the world does when
Yeah.
they can't pass a budget.
Yeah,
Spain is
there's no
still running off.
excuse.
Yeah,
Or-
Spain is still running off the 2023 budget, by the
Or
way.
if you really want to do something, just say, okay, for the next like 6 months or until you get a deal done, it's like a 10% cut. But you still have operations going, or just something, not the shit of, oh, this one party can hold hostage the entire country, basically say,
Stupid.
either vote for
Well,
us.
There is still no reason. I don't understand. Like, there is no positive for Republicans to keep the filibuster at this point
Yeah.
because Democrats are getting rid of it. The next time they hold the Senate, which don't let anybody fool you. It's not like they're never. It's not like the Senate is a lock for Republicans for the next decade, right? Democrats could take the Senate back if they get a bunch of good years, but
Yeah.
there is no excuse. And the second, the millisecond they get 50 senators, like what is Fetterman gonna vote against abolishing it? Fuck
Well,
no.
Fetterman's gonna be gone by
Okay,
28.
this is what I will tell you
So-
on that one, because I tend to disagree with that point. Mark Halperin, who's someone who really knows a lot of like the insides of DC and shit, he pointed out that there were like 7 to like 15 Democratic senators who, during the Biden years, privately opposed getting rid of the filibuster.
Yeah, but
they're kind of just like,
but since the Biden years, these people
But
got
I'm
more
gonna
nuts.
tell you this.
So
I'm going to tell you this, though. The filibuster is something that there's an unwritten rule you never get rid of. You can put on the shows like, hey, we're going to try to get rid of it, but you know it's DOA.
these people
it's
don't give a
something-
shit about that, Luke. Though that's the issue.
They do. They do. Look,
No.
Schumer does. Schumer does.
Yeah,
now,
but he's about to leave
like-
in like 5 years or whatever.
yeah, and I'm telling you, once he leaves, Dems are not, because he's the only fucking effective political messenger they have, or at least like the only effective political actor they have. Once he's gone, they're cooked. That's what I'll tell you.
All right. let's go through some more super chats. K Cup for 2, late Shamar politics. Oh gosh. American Nerd for 10. Congrats to new DHS Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen. Though I'm kind of pissed that the Senate can confirm a new secretary so fast, yet drags their feet when passing like the Say America Act with the F. Well, to be fair, you don't have to worry about the filibuster.
Yeah, the filibuster is
Yeah.
if they could you imagine if there was still a
Oh
filibuster
my
for nominations?
God. We wouldn't even get
Lord.
Marco Rubio will be the only one that's the cabinet at this point.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure Marco Rubio was the only person to get 60 votes.
He was
I thi-
unanimous.
yeah, he was unanimous, but I think like most of the Republicans, even if they got crossover support, it was like 55, 56, maybe
6, 7.
57 votes.
So,
6,
yeah.
7.
But yeah, there I think there were actually a couple like lower tier ones that did get 60, but not the big ones. K Cup for 5. It is stupid that reallocate resources claim they made when they defund the police became popular. Remember when they tried to push that bullshit? Oh yeah, just guys, if we cut the funding to police departments and go to the social workers, that'll fix all our problems. Yeah, how did that go? Wally
Okay,
Crazy.
hear me out.
What?
It's social workers, except instead of a social worker, we just send Daniel Penny. I think this solves
Oh
most
my
issues. We make him the social worker. I
yeah.
think this works.
Wally Crazy Bear for 2. Why hasn't Trump gone after Thune more? Again, I think Thune's a good guy. I think he's trying. He doesn't have it in him, I don't think.
He doesn't have it in him, and also you got to understand he's having to deal with. I can't even really blame Collins for this. Collins has been a team player.
Yeah.
It's our good friend, our great friend Lisa Murkowski, Tillis. Who's that fucking bitch from Utah?
John Curtis.
Yeah, Curtis, who has ended up being just about the same as our good friend Mitt Romney.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even understand. There was no point in getting rid of Mitt Romney if we were just gonna get Mitt Romney, but like gay.
Well, yeah, but yes, but I find it funny though. It's like McConnellville people's actually working with us, which is just sad. If McConnell is actually saying, "Yeah, I'll try to get this through," I know he's playing games behind the scenes, but it's like really, McConnell is being more effective. That's pathetic.
Mitch McConnell, we gave him a lot of leeway because he was probably the most effective Senate Majority Leader we've seen in a generation.
Yeah.
But like, what has John Curtis done to justify his behavior?
Nothing.
What has Lisa Murkowski done to justify her behavior? Fucking Susan Collins is about to run for re-election in a Harris plus 7 state that barely moved right, despite all of New England shifting way harder in a Trump midterm. And she is a more effective team player and a more consistent vote than Murkowski, than
sad.
Curtis, than Tillis. Like, what the fuck are we doing here?
And you could add Cassidy, but the only reason he has a good record now is because of the election coming up. That's the only reason he's voting halfway decent now.
I'll say Cassidy, and I think Cassidy is like, he's one of those guys that like, dude, he's like, have you guys seen the polling for?
Oh, he's done. He's gonna take third place. He may not make the runoff.
Like I will say, he is polling, and that's the thing. People forget Louisiana is one of those states. They do not care if you are an incumbent. Yeah. Have you seen? So there have been a lot of jungle primaries where the incumbent gets 3rd or 4th.
Yeah,
they don't give a fuck. They don't care if you are an incumbent or not. If you are a dog shit candidate, if you are not up to snuff, they will put you out to pasture, and that is what they did to a lot of governors back in the day. Yeah, and that's what they're doing to our good friend Cassidy now.
Yeah, Louisiana does not piss around on this stuff. That's why they usually get like their bench is still kind of mediocre, but it's at least slightly better than like Arkansas or whatever. So, but yeah, just like Louisiana's getting rid of Cassidy, which is just the guy's done. I don't see him winning at all. I don't see him. He's gonna take 3rd place. He may not even crack 20% as the incumbent.
Yeah.
So
I gotta get going back to work, but before I do, I just wanted to post this in general. We might be winning something tonight.
The specials in Florida tonight. Yeah, early voting looks really good.
Good Republican turnout again. One of them is a very heavy Cuban district. That was a Biden to Trump seat. The one? That's the one Dems are trying to flip.
I want to see it like swing to the right by 20 points because what happened in Cuba. Please. But yeah, also I just want to.
Dems are coping, saying a bunch of registered Republicans are voting Democrat now. Which, like, so.
Anyways. Okay.
Anyways, Dominic, churn out. Adios.
Yeah, adios.
Have
Wait,
fun.
let me actually bring this up, actually. This is the early voting in Florida. There's a special election there tonight. There's 3, actually. Two of them are more to the right. They're not going to really shift at all. But the big one is, I think it's the, is it the
It's Trump's
87th?
district, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Trump's district.
It's the seat that Trump's in.
And,
That
and of
Mar-a-Lago's
course,
in.
that's what he cares about the race for these specials. Funny how that works. But yeah, so the special election right now, oh my God. As of noon, the electorate for the election day vote is 55% Republican. Yeah, I don't think that seat's gonna flip.
Yeah, it's looking good for Republicans, but then again, we said that about the Duval race, and look what happened there.
Yeah, but I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. Okay.
Cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, it looks like turnout's pretty good too, from what I'm seeing. So we'll see. We shall see what happens later tonight. So, all right. So enough of that, though. We got to get into the main part of the stream. So there are talks about the DHS shutdown ending, and there was a report from, I think, the Daily Wire and oh my God, what's that outlet called that everyone goes to DC? It's like Punchbowl News, whatever it's called.
Punchbowl, yeah, Punchbowl
Yeah.
is the DC one.
Yeah, that is the one that everybody goes to. So there was a report that came out yesterday. Let me pull this up, actually. I think it was I think they reported it. Where is it? Yeah, Jake Sherman had a post on it.
I trust Jake Sherman with my life.
Yeah. Okay, right here. So this is a report from the, oh my gosh, where is it? Shit. Well, can't find it. Yeah.
Retarded
is it?
American politics.
Thank you. Okay, good Lord, found it. So, yesterday there was a report from let's start with the Daily Wire one. So apparently Tom Homan is in talks with the Senate and the House over DHS funding, and one source told the Daily Wire that Democrats could potentially concede en masse or judicial warrants in exchange for not funding ICE through appropriations. So first of all, how does this impact anything with ICE? That's my question.
Yeah, no. Requiring judicial warrants to make arrests is a batshit insane policy.
Yeah, and they're conceding on it.
It is one of the. I don't think you understand how difficult it is to get a warrant, a judicial warrant, to detain illegal aliens. Like, these people, I don't think people understand how this works. So let me explain this. Illegal aliens that get arrested, they got their court date. They got their trial. They went to an immigration court. They presented all of their information, and the immigration judge said, no, you do not qualify for asylum, and orders their deportation. In order for, in the vast majority of cases, in order for ICE to in order for ICE to detain and deport an illegal alien, they already need a fucking immigration court order. They already need a court. It's not a judicial warrant. It's an administrative warrant granted by a final order of removal given after a court date. So what Democrats are basically trying to require, and what Republicans are about to go along with,
No, they're not. They're not.
Okay, well, what they were wanting to go along with, if Homan didn't step in, is they wanted illegal aliens to go to court, get their court date, be told, no, you have no right to asylum, you need to go home, and then they wanted ICE to get another judicial warrant from a federal court
and
to then be allowed to arrest them. That's two different warrants and a final order of removal for every single illegal alien that we have to get rid of. That is bullshit, respectfully.
And by the way, these federal judges, they're not going to grant any warrants.
Oh, fuck no. No,
they're not going to.
Federal judges are going to be like, oh, well, he's just an innocent soul. All he did was cross the border illegally 6 times.
Can you imagine having to go through Boasberg, a judicial warrant through? Oh, my God.
Dude, just... You know what? At that point, and I'm saying this without a hint of irony, if this ends up going through, just start deporting them without warrants and then say, oh, no, make us bring them back.
Yeah.
Like, if it ever gets to a point where ICE is required to get both an administrative warrant, which requires a final order of removal, and a judicial warrant in order to detain and deport illegal aliens, just say, fuck it, ignore the courts at that point. We're not doing that shit. We are not getting 10 million judicial warrants on top of the 10 million final orders of removal and the 10 million administrative warrants to remove the people from the country. We're not doing that.
It might remind people, SCOTUS has already ruled many times that these federal judges are supposed to fuck off in these cases. This has been dealt with 100 times.
Congress explicitly removed any authority of the federal court system. They have
Yeah.
no authority. They are not allowed to intervene in this. They are given very, very, very minuscule amount of authority in habeas corpus petitions only if like they're facing like abuse in the system. But there is never, I'm sorry, per the statute, per what Congress has said, a federal judge cannot go in and say, oh, well, no, this illegal alien has to be released from custody. That's not a thing. That hasn't been a thing. It used to be a thing, and Congress said, oh, wait, that's fucking retarded. Let's get rid of it. And so they got rid of it.
Yeah, and people just like ignore this. The Supreme Court's ruled on this 10 times at this point. I mean, really last month 10 times or so. They keep saying you cannot go through these federal judges like this. They still do it. These federal judges like, ignore the Supreme Court and says, yeah, we can let this guy off the hook. This poor soul, this Maryland man.
Maryland father. Maryland wife beater. Excuse me.
Gosh. And now we got another freaking man now. We have
another Maryland man. Oh, is it the one that like abandoned his kid?
Yeah.
Like he tried to use his kid to escape from the cops.
And a judge told him to fuck off after all that nonsense. So, yeah.
Yeah, dude, Maryland man fucking beats his wife and hangs out with gang members and traffics illegals from Kentucky. But he's a good guy, I promise.
Daniel for 10. I'm going to get the popcorn ready because if Cornyn loses the runoff in May, and if Cassidy goes down outright, the meltdown from the establishment will be glorious. Oh, both of them are fucked. I don't see Cornyn winning now. He's done.
I think Paxton is favored, and I'm going to vote for Paxton whenever that runoff is. I don't even remember. I'll have to look it up.
Well,
but yeah, no, our good friend Cassidy is probably fucked.
He's going to take third place. And by the way, if you live in Louisiana, vote for Fleming. That's my take. So
I don't mind Letlow. She's not terrible, but she would only be like a moderate upgrade from Cassidy.
You go from dog shit to like C tier.
So you go from Lisa Murkowski to like, I don't know, Tim Scott.
Yeah. Mediocre.
It's not the worst upgrade, but I mean, Fleming is for, if in our plus 20 extremely socially conservative, racially polarized state, you do kind of want the most conservative candidate possible.
Yeah, you want Fleming. So if you live in Louisiana, vote for Fleming. That's my pick. But again, Letlow's not a bad option either. So
Letlow isn't horrible, but like I said, if you're in a state that's that conservative, you don't want mediocre.
American Nerd for 2. Trump should reject the deal. So yeah, as for the deal, so apparently the deal is that they would not go through appropriations for ICE funding. And in return, Democrats would be fine with ICE agents using masks and judicial warrants. So basically, we literally get everything we wanted. If I'm reading this right.
Not if they require judicial warrant. Here, post it in chat.
No, it's not. They're saying they're going to give up on it. Like, they're not going to push it through it at this point.
So what are they wanting in return?
Not funding ICE through appropriations. Wow. That's the deal. Wait a minute. Hold up here. You're telling me that you're going along with what we were doing anyways?
So they want the funding to be bipartisan, and that's the only exception? That's the only thing they want out of it? I don't trust these people, like, remotely.
I don't either, but
this seems like a scam. This seems like
because I think what they're trying to do is set the precedent for down the line. They could say, "Oh, we don't fund ICE through appropriations; it's through only reconciliation." That's what I think they're trying to do here, and apparently that's their plan. They're going to fund ICE through reconciliation, which you only need 50 votes on. But yeah, like I don't. Wait a minute here. What do Democrats gain out of this then?
They gained the fact that they defunded TSA for a couple months.
And yeah, this is a good point from I think it's saying Banshee on Twitter. But yeah. So this is a good point by him that this whole thing is just the more I read into this doesn't look like the worst deal in the world. So yeah, right here. Why is someone doing this? Because ICE already funded and could receive additional funding through reconciliation again this year. If Democrats concede in exchange for not funding ICE through the HSA appropriation, that's a win for the GOP. So basically,
so this is what. Okay, so basically,
yeah,
they didn't
I get
want,
it.
Because Democrats weren't voting for any clean DHS funding because they didn't like the fact that they kept pushing for bills that would basically shut down DHS or that would shut down ICE and shut down Border Patrol, but would not shut down anything else. So basically, they were trying to take away funding from ICE and have them shut down and open up every other part of DHS, which obviously No fucking sane person's gonna vote for that. But I guess at this point they're gonna allow ICE to only operate on their. They're not going to fund ICE. They're not going to restore their funding, but they're not going to touch the big beautiful bill funding. I think that's what they're saying.
They're just going to go through reconciliation again. That's the plan. They're going to get more money out of this. What the hell?
So basically, okay, so someone correct me if I had this wrong. Essentially, instead of shutting down ICE and not letting them and getting rid of their big beautiful bill funding, they're now going to just not fund them regularly, but only let them operate on their big beautiful bill funding, which is like, so they're going, oh, we're not funding ICE, we didn't give them any more money, they're going to have to operate off what they have already been allotted,
and that was the plan anyways.
Which doesn't seem that bad. What are the libtards doing?
Because right here they're already funded, and apparently, if I'm reading this correctly, they're going to get more funding anyways through reconciliation.
What are the libtards doing?
So we're going to get more money out of this. They're going to give them on the warrants.
Insane.
Yeah, oh my gosh. I got to read more into this. This is fucking what? I misread this then because I thought it was like, oh, we're going to give them the funding. No, apparently we're just keeping everything and then we're gaining more. We're getting more money for deportations. Wow. That was what is this deal? Like
the art of the deal.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
The deal is that libtards get to look like cool. They get to look like they're fighting Trump's fascism, and it keeps their fucking. I can't say the F word.
I don't get this.
I can't say that word on stream.
All right, right here. So this is from Jake Sherman. I finally found it. Good Lord, took a while. This was the original report I was talking about. So yeah, apparently the outlines of the White House / Senate Republican talks center on funding DHS except ICE removal operations. Republicans would then try to fund ICE in a reconciliation package. They would also pursue the SAFE Act. Okay, so what the fuck are Democrats agreeing to then? Wait, what?
I still don't like the fact that, like, even for like a split second, ICE is going to lose their funding.
No, they're not. They're
not.
They're going to keep their main funding.
So they're going to keep the big beautiful bill funding, but not anything else, and then they're going to give them their additional funding through reconciliation. Yeah,
and apparently they're going to give them even more.
What are what? The Goyim have gone straight off the cob. What are we doing here?
I'm reading this right, am I?
I mean, are you reading this right? Are you literate?
Listen, that's what Jake Sherman's reporting. That's what the Daily Wire was reporting. So wow, Chuck Schumer. Wow, what a 70 chess move here. So we gain everything we want. We're going to gain even more funding. Democrats give up everything, and in return, we what? Split it off in a different package that we need less votes for?
I need to pull up the image of the dinosaur, and it says the left has gone insanosaurus.
Hold on. President Gilbert Gideon for 5. These judges will not give ICE warrants. ICE just needs to continue doing what they were doing. In the words of our girl boss, yay, Godspeed to Hawktua. Yeah.
Yeah, Hawktua.
American Nerd for 2. Did Trump endorse someone in the Louisiana Senate race? Yeah.
Letlow, which I don't understand, but fuck it.
Because he likes her, I guess. Who fucking knows? It's Trump.
He's better than Cassidy, I guess.
Yeah, I guess he didn't want to, like, go all the way, but, like, you got to go all the way.
You got to go Fleming. Come on, he's right
Letlow
there.
Wasn't that bad, though, right?
Yeah, okay, Letlow's like mediocre.
Letlow is mid, completely mid, but the alternative is our good friend Bill Cassidy, so I can't complain. American
Nerd for 2. That deal Democrats offered sounds too good to be true. Yeah, I'm trying to figure this, like, what is this 70 chess move they're playing? They're playing checkers or something. I don't fucking know. K-Cup for 5. The Democrats gain the fact that thousands of TSA agents now need government assistance because they quit their jobs because they weren't getting paid. Yeah. 8D chess, everybody. Spike for 2. Rank the last 5 presidents. Trump's one. That's without question. So the last 5, that would include Bush, Biden, Obama, or good Lord, Trump, Biden, Obama, Bush, and then Clinton, right?
I don't really know. Like, I don't, like, are we talking about their presidency in general? Because I'm going to be honest with you, I honestly, like, part of me does want to put Clinton above Bush because I really don't like Bush, but At the
That's-
same time, that might be
it's Clinton.
blasphemous.
It's Clinton. The thing
That
with
might
Clinton,
No, I put Clinton above George W. Bush.
Yeah,
and
I
have
think
no
with
shame over it.
the thing with Clinton is like I think in the
He became a libtard in his
Yeah.
after the presidency, but he wasn't the worst during it.
And
Besides
you-
the gun control bill.
and in the short term he was actually a decent president for the time. The long term, his policies caused a big problem in 2008. But
I mean, I'm the type of person who would have voted straight ticket or a Republican no matter what since at least the 50s,
Yeah.
if not before.
so I'm
But
gonna
like,
say
I will admit that Bill Clinton was probably better than George W. Bush, except for the most important thing, which was Supreme Court justices.
yeah,
appointments.
100%.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's
Bush
like,
had some pretty good judges. So
Bush had good judges. The problem is that's my thing. It's like even if I ever wanted to vote for a libtard, like a quote unquote moderate libtard, like back in the 80s and 70s, Democrat judges are just they're so fucking insane that like
I would say
like
the only one I kind of respect was, I mean, RBJ. I don't. She's not as bad as Sotomayor or KBJ, but I'm not a huge RBJ fan. RBG fan rather. Only Dem judge I kind of like is Kagan. Like she's by far
yeah.
the
So
most respectable.
here's my 5: Trump, Clinton, Bush, Obama, and Biden. I think that's kind of my 5.
yeah.
People got to understand that Obama's second term did a lot of damage. I would argue if you just look at Obama's second term, I would put him number 5. I'm not even joking because Obama did so much damage his final term. People forget about that. Look at all the shit he did his last term with like everything. That's where the social shit went crazy.
I would say that Biden was much more incompetent, but he long term did, apart from even with like the illegal him letting in the entire world into our country, it's like he didn't cause like that. A lot of them were being deported, so Biden didn't really cause that much long term.
Yeah, that's a difference. Obama's administration caused long term damage to this country that required Trump to win twice.
Yeah, and I think that matters more.
Yeah. Now, if
symbolically.
Harris
Also
would have won in
literally.
24, I think Biden would be worse. But that's I'm gonna say I think overall from it is I think Biden's number 5 for me, and then Obama's number 4 barely. You can interchange them, especially with his second term. People forget. Look up all the crazy shit he did in his final 4 years. That you want to talk about race relations go down the toilet? That's when that happened in his second term.
They
That's
started
when
to
he
get
went
better
nuts.
again, like after in the last 2 years. They started to get way better. I mean, there were maybe a few incidents, but very few. Whereas, like in the 2010s and early 2020s, it was like every month.
Yeah.
And so far, there was the Zarutska case and like the thing in Texas, the track field thing, but that was it, right? I don't
Yeah.
think there was any other big controversy.
So I'm going to say that was my 5. Again, Obama's second term, very bad. Like, look it up. That's when all the crazy woke DEI stuff really started. That's when the shit went off the rails.
Yep. Absolutely. Obama is worse than George W. Bush. We can all agree on that. right?
Listen-
Yeah. That's the thing. Like people kept talking about, oh man, race relations got worse because people didn't like that a black man was president.
No.
Dude, 2008 was probably the 2008 to 2010 or 2011 was like probably the best time for race relations in this country's history.
I was going to say that. Look up the Gallup polling. Gallup polling was like the best in history when Obama first won.
Obama term 1 actually helped race relations in my opinion.
I
But
think it
term two is when it all went down is when it all went to shit. I mean, you cannot govern like that. You cannot racially polarize the country like that and then go, oh well, they just didn't like he was a black man. No, they didn't care that he was a black man back in 2008. Hell, it probably helped. But then he started pushing race shit, and that's what happens when you do. Then you cause racial polarization.
Race gay communism. That's what he pushed.
If I had a son, he would look like Trayvon. No, you're absolutely right, Ye. 2008 to 2011 was the best time for race relations. You could make an argument right now, like 2026 is a pretty good time for race relations.
White and black, yes. Well, no, actually, because if you guys send the shit with fucking...
It's getting slightly better than it was 5 years ago, but that's not really saying much.
Yeah, 2010, like it was like peak.
Yeah,
peak,
I would argue, from 2008, 2011, that like polling shows this. Gallup, I gotta find the Gallup poll. It's like that's when they were the best.
It was hands up, don't shoot that pretty much fucked
Yeah.
this entire country. Hands up, don't shoot, by the way, was from a guy who beat the shit out of another dude while robbing his store, and then started attacking the cop, and then the cop shot him. So, and then
Yeah.
apparently he put his hands up or something, and that made it all okay.
What I think made it worse was what Obama said. That's when it went off the rails. Because
go ahead.
what I was gonna say is because if Obama never said that shit, it might have caused a temporary dip in race relations, probably. But I don't think long term it would really matter. It just when Obama just went on and on about it. That's when I think shit went off the rails, in my opinion. But
No, you're right. You're right. If Obama just said, "Oh, this is about Trayvon Martin. Oh, this is sad. We need to let the jury do its investigations," and even if he just offhandedly said, "Oh, a lot of even without context," even if he misinterpreted it, but he just said like, "Oh, black people are being killed a lot," but he just said that offhandedly, like once, nobody would have cared. But no, he had to because of the Democratic activist space.
yeah,
He had to just go on and on about it,
that's
and yeah, that kind of ruined the
like
country's
I
race
can't believe
relations for
people
a
really think,
generation.
dude. People just forget that a big reason Obama won by the margin he did was because of white people in 2008.
He won Iowa because of minorities. What are you talking
Yeah,
I was
about?
gonna say, dude, he won Iowa, Wisconsin, Michigan.
Ohio.
It was all the white
He won
people.
fucking
Indiana, but to be
Indiana.
fair, Indiana. Well, Indiana probably was due to black turnout, but that's not the
I
only
get,
reason.
I know, but it's like for you to win Indiana as a Republican or Democrat, you got to do good with white voters. There's no question about it, and he did good with them. So, yeah. A glitch EV for 5. We have mastered the deal, make it so hard that we are able to get more than an initial ask. Yeah, that's the sounds of it. I misread it. Damn it, the title is wrong. Great. Because I initially thought, oh, they're gonna force it through and then they're gonna get nothing. No, they're actually giving us everything we want. Thank you. Object Clay's cater for 10. My take, once ICE was sent to the airports, Democrats lost the fight in trying to get something or lose everything since flights delayed, etc. I.e., they could stop funding for ICE and appropriations. Yeah, I think that's what happened. Because I think they're realizing that ICE is objectively improving stuff at the airports now. Which, by the way, isn't it kind of strange that magically when ICE appears, airports magically, like, the amount of people at the airports go down by 50%? Is that strange? I wonder why. I saw a tweet by that. It's like, wait, yeah, why are these airports suddenly empty when ICE is there?
It really makes you think.
Yeah, I wonder why. I wonder why. Dixie Rex has been a member for 19 months. Thank you so much. Very much for that. Yeah.
Send ICE into like every airport.
Yeah.
Okay, it's
Do it.
like
Like,
it's
if that, like, oh my gosh.
Put ICE in polling places. It'll be really funny. I promise.
Please. You just see turnout in California crash by like 80%.
They unironically need to put like ICE agents in.
I think
pretty
they're going
much
to. I've heard they're going to do it.
in New York City. In New York City, they need to be all over Houston, all over Dallas.
I did hear, and it sounds like it's real, that this is kind of like the test run for ICE later this year. This is a test run for the poll centers, which is like, wait, if you're a legal citizen that can vote.
I was gonna say, this isn't even an issue of like, it's one thing if like, oh well, I'm a legal citizen, but ICE might still fucking violate my rights. If you're a an illegal immigrant, I'm sorry. If you're a legal citizen, there is nothing ICE can do to you at all.
There's nothing.
There is no.
And if they do something, you could sue them. Like I don't.
Say, if they do pull some stupid shit, guess what? You just got set for life because the libtards fucking hate ICE right now. If you can even remotely spin it as them violating your rights, you're getting a massive payday from a jury.
Paycheck. If you're not doing anything, like that's what people understand. Like, yes, ICE sometimes does some dumb stuff, but guess what? Don't be a dumb shit. That's the first rule in all of this. Don't be a dumbass with dealing with ICE.
Go ahead.
K Cup for 5. Obama fooled so many people throughout his career. My buddy says he was fooled by Obama not because of what he was saying, but because how he spoke. Well, because Obama was a good speaker, but I would argue only in his first term. His second term, he kind of lost a little bit of that energy. But the thing with Obama's, go on.
Yeah, first term Obama was honestly like, yeah, Obamacare was a bad policy, but he wasn't like that terrible. But yeah, second term Obama is like one of the worst terms of any presidency.
Yeah, I think it's the worst. long-term wise. It did so much fucking damage to this country. Did he do one good thing in his second term? Seriously.
Liberal.
At least, at least
Liberal.
Biden, you could say like kept up some of the tariffs, and he did some decent stuff for semiconductors. Even though that's kind of a scam, but still, he did some decent stuff, I guess. But American Nerd for 2, New South Carolina Senate poll: Graham 41%, Lynch 21%, Daines 11. I call bullshit.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't believe it.
What is okay? Is South Carolina a 40% runoff or a 50%? Like, what's the rule on that?
I think it's majority runoff. North Carolina is the weird one.
North Carolina is like, I think it's 30% or
Yeah.
something insane.
It's like, wait, I can understand 40%, 45% because this bullshit of one random candidate getting 1%. Like, no, that's horseshit. But yeah, if it's 30%, what's the point? Just have plurality at that point.
I think Lindsey Graham's going to win his primary. And I'm not the biggest fan of the guy, even as somebody who's probably out of all the people on the rap stream, apart from maybe Luke. No, even more so than Luke. I'm by far the most hawkish on Iran by far. But like, yeah, no, he's like, Lindsey Graham is like making the
Sucks.
best argument for the anti, war campaign or anti-campaign
Well, I mean, just
in Iran people. He's like so bad at this.
well, he goes around and says, I mean, look what he said about Iwo Jima. Guys, we need another Iwo Jima in the fucking island. Do you understand how many Americans died taking that damn island?
Tens of thousands, at least.
I think it was 7,000 actually.
Oh,
It was 7,000, but a
it was
lot
like
got
15.
wounded. But he literally said on Fox News on national TV, he said, "We took Iwo Jima. We could take this island, and like we gotta do the same thing."
Yeah,
thousands of Americans
World War II.
died. Took that fucking island.
Everything's World War II. I will give Lindsay credit because he's like the first person to use a World War II analogy that's about the Pacific Theater rather than the Atlantic Theater.
Yeah, that's
I think
true.
he's the first person to do that in like 50 years. But no, Lindsey Graham is a complete like. I actually admire his honesty. I admire that he's like so upfront about it.
Wait, he's honest about it.
Yeah, but it's like maybe there's a thing as being too honest, and I also don't want ground troops. I've always said this. I want the regime to fall, and I don't want ground troops. Those are the only two things I want from this conflict. And so far, Trump, he's not providing ground troops, and the regime hasn't fallen yet, but it's significantly weakened. So we'll see.
Yeah. Cameron Full God for 2. Obama had a golden opportunity and squandered it. Yeah, he did. But I think that the reason he went off the rails because I think they thought that Republicans were dead as a party because they kind of were before Trump.
I mean, shit, they might as well have been. I mean,
Yeah.
Mitt Romney was. God damn, that's pathetic.
How do you lose? How?
Like 2012 Obama wasn't even popular.
Yeah, he was like people forget about this. Like he was not liked in 2012. If you would have ran anybody, he would have lost.
People were kind of over him by 2010 because I mean, we saw what happened. Like Republicans were winning Senate seats in fucking Massachusetts, and like they weren't even like Scott Brown isn't like MAGA or anything, but he's not a fucking like he wasn't like a typical New England Republican. Yeah, no, he was not Charlie Baker. He was still pretty goddamn conservative.
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably to the right of John Sununu. Just he's kind of seen as a carpetbagger.
I'm so like Mitt Romney. He should have won that race, and he got crushed. Like he did not even come close. Yeah, like I know the popular vote was a bit more like it was closer. You look at the individual states, he got crushed. Wait, the closest thing was Florida.
No. Fuck no. Florida. He actually almost won, which
that's
is
why
I meant that.
I meant that. Like he almost won Florida, and that's
he
about
almost
it.
Won Florida. Like I don't think people understand the tipping point state was I think it was Colorado, and it was like not Biden. It was like Obama plus 5. Like he got it wasn't even close.
And a reminder: the Mitt Romney campaign thought they were going to win, and they accidentally leaked their websites.
Yeah, they were. I have a certain friend who was a donor to the Mitt Romney campaign in 2012. This is somebody you know, but I'm not going to say who it is for the sake of his own. I don't know.
Yeah, don't say that.
So so this guy was talking to Stuart Stevens. Remember him?
Yeah, I know who you're talking
Stuart
about.
Stevens or somebody like that before the election. And my friend was like, "Hey, my friend went door knocking, I think in Wisconsin, and he was like, yeah, Romney's doing really badly in Wisconsin, which is where Paul Ryan is from, who was his running mate at the time." And he's like, he said to Stuart Stevens, "Hey, I think Romney's gonna lose. He's doing really badly." And Stuart Stevens is like, "Oh no, we're up in Virginia, we're up in Florida, we're up in Colorado, we're even close in Pennsylvania, we're up in Ohio." And he was just acting like, yeah, their victory was inevitable. And I think that was the attitude of many people in the Romney campaign.
That was their attitude.
They thought that their victory was inevitable.
Yeah, and a quick reminder that in October of 2012, Romney basically stopped campaigning.
Man, no, he gave up.
Yeah.
He didn't give up. He thought he was so
Far ahead, he was gonna win.
yeah, he thought he was so safe that he just stopped campaigning. I mean, he thought it was gonna be a blowout.
Well, to be fair, there was an opportunity because people forget about this. Obama's debate performance in the first debate in 2012 is quite before Biden fucked up, was one of the worst by president ever.
It was bad. I mean,
Yeah.
people say Trump, and look, I say this as somebody who voted for Trump as many times as I could legally in 2020 and 2024 when I was old enough.
I voted for him illegally 65
Oh
times.
God, oh
Yeah.
God, no! But like Trump's first debate in like 2020, where the first one against Biden in 2020 was also pretty terrible. Not as bad as Biden in 2024, but I would say that first debates for incumbent president
Usually it's not
go
good
really
because
badly. Like
because-
Bush 2004 was terrible. First debate against Kerry, or one of them against Kerry, was pretty bad too.
yeah,
Right?
it was awful. And but like people forget about this. Obama in 2012, his debate performance was so bad. Look at the polling right after. I know there is some bullshit with the polling where it's like, Republicans had more enthusiasm and stuff. There was an opportunity to fucking obliterate Obama after that.
Well, no, that's the thing. Like, people like, oh, Romney was like, he thought he had it in the bag. He fucking should have.
Yeah. After the first debate.
There was pretty much no excuse for Romney to lose the 2012 election.
Because-
I get that incumbents are hard to defeat, but like after 2010, after the fucking blowout Republicans had in 2010, after Obama's debate performance, after his own unpopularity, after Mitt Romney's generally decently moderate politics, I guess maybe not because he was a fucking Mormon. Yeah. Anyways, smiley face. There was no reason for Romney to lose.
Yeah,
not one.
And he should have won that race. He should have won.
You think? I know he's a meme now, but pretend that we're in 2012. You think that Chris Christie would have done? I think he would have done way better if not
He would've
won
won.
against Obama.
I think he would have won. That's my
I think
take.
he would have won.
Yeah.
That's great.
I think Mitt Romney was just the wrong candidate. to
The
run.
2012 Republican primary field was horrible too. I mean, you had fucking Newt Gingrich running, and he was
Sad
a
part
serious
is
candidate.
Newt Gingrich probably like one of the best candidates they had.
You had Rick Santorum, who I know some people like him, but he would have been a
He's a
terrible.
meme.
candidate.
Your best candidate was fucking Ron Paul.
Rick Perry. Oh my God.
Rick Perry
fucking
ran?
Perry.
I forgot Rick Perry
and-
ran. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I was gonna say Herman Cain, but we love him. We love Herman.
Yeah, Herman
Cain.
Cain's a patriot.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace.
Yeah, but
no, it was a
people forget-
terrible field.
your best option is Ron Paul. Who before Ron Paul went off the rails lately. We're still going to defend Ron Paul. Ron Paul's a patriot, but outside of that, who do you have?
No one.
Gingrich?
I mean, Trump could have ran, but he didn't because I think Trump was like, okay, beating Obama is not going to be impossible, but it's going to be tough. I'm going to run in 2016 because it's going to be against Hillary, who's weaker.
Yeah.
And I think you could argue Trump would have won in 2012, but it would have been close. Whereas like 2016, he was always kind of going to win, in my opinion. You get what I mean?
I think Trump would have lost against Obama, but he would have still won.
Same.
He would have won Florida, Ohio, and Iowa. I mean,
No,
just
for
straight
sure,
up.
Easily.
yeah.
He would have probably lost Virginia and
Because
Colorado.
the thing though,
That's-
the thing with Trump, people got to understand is that was right before people realized they needed change, actual change in the system. That was right before people realized, oh, both parties fucking suck, and you got to get somebody else new. So
Yeah, Trump would have done better than Romney, that's for sure.
yeah.
And 2016, the field was actually stacked, and Trump. And I mean, you have to think about it. Like 2012, like the field was atrocious. Trump would have easily won the primary.
Yeah, I mean,
2016, you had heavy hitters, and like Trump,
he
like
still
still
won.
won.
Yeah, I mean, like 26, like I cannot believe the 2012 bench. I forgot how bad that was. He had Rick Perry, who remember that's when he had that infamous debate moment where he just forgets what he's
Yeah,
talking
I can't
about.
name the three branches of,
Yeah,
that I want to eliminate of the
dumb
government.
shit. Yeah, you had Rick Perry, you had Newt Gingrich, you had Rick Santorum. Why did Newt Gingrich run? That's a real question. Why?
It's a very good
Generally,
question.
genuinely have no idea. I think it's because like the field was so weak that I think Gingrich was like, okay, I can run, I can have a good shot at this, and he did. He was a serious candidate. And look, like Newt Gingrich is a smart guy, but he would be one of the worst candidates for anything. Like,
Like he was
oh,
good for his time, but after the 90s, is like, dude, you got to go, and he did. So I'm in Clay's candidate for 10. Can Obama retire for good already? I'm tired of seeing him and only him every day promoting the referendum. What's gone? Who does Democrats have as a national figure they use as face of the party? I voted no. For the first thing, Obama's not going to retire for a while. He's probably
he's
going
not
to
that old.
die.
He's like
Yeah.
63 or
Until he
60. No,
dies, he's going to be involved.
he's 64. He's not that old. That's
Yeah.
crazy. He's president. He got elected like 20 years ago, and he's still like well under the age of 70.
Yeah.
He's in his 60s
People
now,
forget
though.
how young he really was when he won.
Yeah, that's another thing. He was the same age as I think no, Vance was gonna be 44.
Yeah, he was a little bit younger.
Obama
He
was
was about the same age of that.
47. So yeah, he was pretty young. He was pretty young. He's gonna be
Yeah.
Obama's gonna be around for a while, but I don't think he really cares that much anymore. I mean, he just like yeah, he's gonna support the Democrats, but he doesn't really give a shit. I think he's
Yeah.
like retired, but whatever.
But yeah, as the next national figure, they don't got anybody. They have fucking nobody. And that's what I'm trying to tell people. After Trump, you got a couple options. You have Vance, you have the growing star in Rubio, you have a couple others. Even DeSantis could, like, in a worst case scenario, maybe do
Yeah, I mean,
something.
emergency backup.
Yeah.
DeSantis has been getting better, even though I still think he has a charisma issue, but it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
as
But he
yeah.
should, like, yeah. But Democrats, they have fucking nobody. Who are you gonna do? AOC?
No, I mean, realistically, they have Wes Moore, but he's not going to get the nomination.
Yeah,
They have
he's
Josh Shapiro, but Josh Shapiro is Jewish and he supports Israel, so that's a
yeah,
no-no.
and the thing with and they like you look at these other options, they got nobody. Who fucking Gavin Newsom? Kamala
Terrible
Harris?
joke.
Uh, the corpse of Biden? Like, they have nobody. They have fucking nobody.
They have Michelle Obama, who's never going to run for
She's
president, and would
guys. Her chance to run was in 2024 after they forced Biden out. But nope. American Nerd for 2. Remember the Biden's full of women quotes? Oh gosh. K-Cup for 5. My dad knew Romney was cooked in 2012 after the last debate when Obama went on about healthcare and Romney bit his tongue and then go for the kill. Well, the thing with Romney is like he was just so arrogant at the end. He really thought, oh my gosh, we're gonna win this. We gotta stop campaigning. How did
I
that work
remember
out?
I remember watching the debate when I was like 10 years old, and my dad was basically like, "Oh yeah, Obama's gonna win." And I didn't know anything about politics at the time. I just knew Obama was a president because I was 10 at the time of 2012. At good times, and yeah, no, I remember like I was talking to like a bunch of like my I guess dad's friends at the time. Maybe this was the year later, and they were like soft Republicans, and they didn't vote for Romney because they just didn't give a shit. And I know people like I have friends who have parents like this. I have friends like this. There are multiple people in 2012 who didn't vote for Romney just because they didn't care about the election, not because they even hated Romney. Romney didn't give them a reason to care about the election, and a lot of these soft Republicans and soft would be Trump voters just didn't show up.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. American Nerd for 2. Why didn't Mike Huckabee run in 2012? From what I understand, he had health issues, I think. So that's why. Jacob Martin for 2. Gingrich was Trump's number 2 VP shortlist choice. Oh gosh. Yeah, no, I don't like Pence, but he was the best pick for the time. He was our best option. So
Who are the other options? I
it
mean,
was Gingrich and I think Christie.
Yeah, Christie would not have. I mean, the thing is Christie was he wouldn't have worked because they're both northeasterners,
Well, not only that, but at
right?
that point, Gingrich, like, not Gingrich, but Christie's whole like shtick is like gone at that point.
And Gingrich would have been useless. No, Pence was the best option at the time, and I mean, I don't know, Pence. I don't blame him for January 6th. It's what option did he have? Like
Well,
he couldn't have.
he's a fucking scumbag for lying. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, but he couldn't have overturned the
Yeah,
election.
but like the issue people have is he said the night before, 2 nights before, we're gonna take a stand on January 6th. We're gonna take it to the states. That's what he said. And he was full of shit. If he would have said from the get-go, hey, listen, I'm not gonna do this. I don't think I have the constitutional authority, even though it's still a big question mark. People would be upset, but people would understand, like, okay, you tell us beforehand, not lie about it. That's why Trump is never gonna forgive Pence. He lied.
Yeah, that's a
He
fair
fucking
point.
lied.
I remember Pence was promising all these things, and I was like,
We're
I
gonna
don't know
take a
if you can do.
stand.
I don't know if you can actually do this, and then he didn't do it, and I was like, well, you don't have the authority to do this, my vice president. But thank you for being transparent. You should have been transparent to these people, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, ever since he left office, he's I've not heard from. He ran for president, and no one remembers it.
Yeah, it was a fucking joke. I still like, yeah, that's stupid. American Nerd for 2. Also in 2012, why did Romney pick Paul Ryan for VP? Because back in 2012, Paul Ryan was the rising star in a swing state, and it blew up in his face.
He became Speaker of the House in 2015. Remember when he was Speaker of the House?
He
That's
was
so long ago, right?
terrible. He was a terrible speaker. Like,
He
people
was
forget
he was no better. I mean, McCarthy was he worse
McCarthy's
than
a
McCarthy?
scumbag. That's all he is.
Was he worse than McCarthy as Speaker?
I think it's very close. I think I'll give Paul Ryan credit for getting some tax cuts through, but like even then he barely got it through. It took a miracle by Trump. So even though they had a big majority in the House, it was just stupid. American
Yeah,
Nerd.
we had 240 House seats
Yeah,
in
you barely
2016.
get the tax cuts through.
Imagine if we had 240 seats now. Thanks, GOP, for not gerrymandering against the
Yeah.
Democrats. Fucking idiots.
American Nerd for 10. Newscomb said in an interview that he reviews the state of Israel and is proud to support the state of Israel. Oh, well, there goes his support. He also says he regrets using the word apartheid to describe the current state of Israel.
I think it's apartheid, but I
Apartheid,
don't.
excuse me. Yeah, it's apartheid, excuse
You
me.
turned into Candace Owens for a second there.
Yeah, good lord.
Um,
Apartheid. Yeah. For those that don't know, that's referring to South Africa. Oh my gosh. Is he already bending the knee on the Israel issue?
I really don't understand why Israel has to matter so much. It's like okay, it's like a small little.
Here's a reality of this. Okay. And this is kind of a truth bomb that again, I'm working an article on this right now. It doesn't really matter who you support right now because even the Democrats line up like saying, "Oh, we're not going to take pro-Israeli money from APAC." Look up why they're not supporting APAC. They're saying it's not because they're pro-Israel, it's because they're pro-Trump. They're still getting money from other groups. Who do you think are the biggest donors for the Democrat Party? Who is it? Take a guess who one of the biggest donors is for the Democrat Party for every candidate. Just take a guess. A certain Michael Bloomberg, one of the most Zionist Democrats out there. So, like,
Great
guys,
governor, by the way, or great mayor,
yeah,
but
people understand like that. People understand like this whole issue is just again like I'm against the lobby. I think it should be banned. I think every foreign lobby should be banned. But this is the biggest issue. I agree. Like it should be 100% banned. But guys, Democrats are literally having the same issue. You have J Street, but really look up Michael Bloomberg is one of their biggest donors, and you got J Street as well. J Street's a big group also. They're against APAC because it's pro-Trump or more to the
is
right.
APAC even that pro-Trump? I mean,
They're
guess,
kind of
but, like
the thing with APAC is they're kind of like you got J Street and another one of the Democrat side, and APAC's kind of the right wing one. More so, it's more the centrist right wing.
I guess, but APAC still spends money on Democratic
Yeah.
primaries, and
Yeah,
they're
but
not really
because they're
even
more
right
pro,
wing.
because they're more pro like Netanyahu than these other groups are. These other groups are
Yeah, that's the
like,
thing.
that's what you
I feel
understand.
like
Like
if
it's the same shit.
I feel like if Netanyahu, once he leaves office and somebody more moderate replaces him, the Democrats are going to lose a lot of their bite for the anti-Israel messaging because Netanyahu, a lot of the anti-Israel stuff, especially from the left,
Well, he's
is
just a war
driven by
criminal.
is the way Netanyahu acts. Regardless of whether you think he's a war
I
criminal
think he's a
or
war.
not.
I think what he's done is a war crime many times
Yeah,
over.
but the point I'm making is like the way BB is a driving force for the anti-Israel left, and even a lot, and on the right too. And once he's replaced by somebody more moderate, who is, or even somebody more liberal, yeah, I don't think the anti-Israel movement is
Well,
gonna
he's
last very
fucking
long.
nearly 80. He's gonna die soon.
He's gonna leave office, right? I mean, he's not that popular in Israel, from what I
Yeah,
hear.
he only gets through because he mysteriously every time he's about to get thrown in jail, they have to do an airstrike somewhere, and he's taken away from the courts. But yeah, guys, like here's my take on it. I think that this like you're I don't know, but both sides have a huge issue. It's a difference of if they're pro Israeli government or not. If they're pro Netanyahu, if they're on the left, on the right. That's really the only difference. So
I
again,
think
usually gets all foreign lobby, no matter where it's from, especially the Israeli one. It's the biggest issue. I agree with that. But there's much more you got to look at. And people are to lie to you. Like the Democrats, they're just against APAC because Trump, because I see it as pro Trump. And that's the only reason. But, anyways,
that is true. That is true, and there's going to be a division between the real radical left, like the Hassan Piker wing of the party, which is small but it exists, and like the AOC wing of the party, or just I think AOC and Newsom are indistinguishable. Like the AOC and Newsom kind of mainstream wing of the Democratic Party, where I think the mainstream wing is not going to be super pro-Israel, but they're not going to be incredibly anti-Israel, and the Hassan Piker wing is just effectively groypers on Israel, and that's going to cause a lot of division, in my opinion, among the left and the Democratic Party, and that's going to be
all
something
right.
you see in the years to come.
All right. Let's see. So, heard his opponents are way more extreme. Yeah, I've heard that too. I don't know. I don't know how that issue. I don't know what's going to go on in Israel, but I think just ban the lobby in general. Just ban it. That's my take on it. But other news, everybody, we got some pretty big news. From Fox News, we got breaking news, everybody. Fox News has learned that the commander of the 82nd Airborne Division, and his command element, members of his headquarters staff, have been ordered to deploy to the Middle East as the Pentagon and the White House weigh whether to send the 82nd Airborne Division. Oh my gosh. Are we about to invade Iran? It looks like we're about.
I'm skeptical of ground troops.
Can we not?
If we send in ground troops, and I'm the biggest hawk on this, but if we send in ground troops, man, I'm gonna have to be like, I don't know, wait and see, you know. But I'm gonna
Yeah,
be
so
more
the 82nd,
skeptical
so
of it.
we're sending the 82nd Airborne Division to the Middle East, and it sounds like they're gonna actually use it.
I don't know if this is gonna work. I don't think it will. I think it might work, but
I'm
it's a
against
high risk,
this.
high reward. It's a very high risk, high reward situation. And
I
right now,
I don't want to do this, if I'm being
I
honest.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
All right,
Like I said, high. Go ahead.
Sorry,
Sorry.
Ben Cynics for 2. If I post about Kent and Tyler Robbins trial, yeah, I'll pull that up. Freaking Joe Kent. Anyways, go on. Oh, okay. Well,
Oh wait. Yeah, high risk, high reward. And if it's a failure, we're fucked in the midterms.
yeah,
If
like
it's a success, we have another 2002. But
hopefully for just precaution. Well, this is a
Trump is
weird
a high
thing.
risk, high reward
We're
person, so I'm
hearing
not that surprised.
we're hearing so many different conflicting reports. I don't know what to believe because now it's coming out from CNN. CNN of all outlets is admitting, yeah, the Iran regime is now begging Trump to stop and kind of like one deal on something. I don't know. I don't know what to think. I think there's a lot more going on behind the scenes. If Russia is telling Iran to bend the knee, I think we're getting close to this being over, but we'll see. America Nerd for 2. Are we gonna take that island in Iran or what? I mean, why? I don't know. That would be the only one that would make sense. Let's see. Fog of War. Yeah. Rap, stop thinking you're monitoring. Oh yeah, like I am currently like watching as everybody else is. I don't have secret information. Let's be clear. These people that claim, guys, I got an anonymous source from somebody that knows something that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, and it goes on forever. And we're gonna nuke Iran. It's like, no, I'm not saying that, but it may
I
be
do. I
posturing.
do think we should just stick to airstrikes instead of I don't know if they're actually going to send ground troops. Like this
Yeah,
could
I
just
don't
be
know.
like
Like I've heard a report they're just rotating troops around, and like this is a big nothing burger.
yeah. I think that's what's going
Maybe.
on. But I think they should just continue with the airstrikes until the regime falls apart and we have like a more moderate element before we can transition to a completely different
Keep the
government. I don't
airstrikes
think
keep the airstrikes going until morale improves.
that is what I've always said. That's what I've always wanted.
Yeah. They aren't invading the mainland. Oh yeah, I don't think that they're gonna invade the mainland. No, that's off the table. There's no way they're gonna do that.
And
I th-
Iran's basically Afghanistan, but much more advanced and like
ye-
basically 90 billion people.
yeah, I
It's
would
got more
also
people
say
than
like
Germany.
people understand like the thing with Iran is like there's like two big cities and that's it. The rest is just fucking nothing. So you just gotta take the two cities and that's kind of it. But we shall see. The airborne division can be to put pressure on the regime. Yeah, that is a good theory. That this is it's just posture. I could see that. I'm just not liking where this is possibly heading. Again, I'm not one of those people that say, guys, we're gonna nuke Iran tomorrow because I know more about the military than like Pete Hegseth does. It's like, no. A glitch EV for 2, no boots on the ground, please. Yeah, no boots on the ground. Apps, like, yeah, no, let's not do that. All right. Why do people think Russia's that powerful, but they're getting their butt kicked by Ukraine? Well, because people have this weird like view, like Ukraine, like Russia's an actual like threat to the United States. It really isn't. Same thing, like China economically it is, but like militarily, their guys are getting their allies getting shit canned everywhere with their equipment.
I always call like the fact that Russia, like I remember in 2022, right after the invasion, everyone, including myself, was like, okay, like immediately after it, I was like, oh, Ukraine's fucked. And we fast forward, literally 4 years later. It's been 4 years of this. I know that's crazy. And how much have Russia gained? Not much. They've been stuck where they've been stuck at the same place for basically 3 years. I want to say, like just east or west of Kherson. Not even that. I think Kherson's the Ukraine took it back. I'm not familiar, but yeah, they just have the eastern provinces of Ukraine, and they're probably going to absorb that. But that's about it. They have no. They don't have any leverage over this, and I think it's a complete failure. And Russia is just been exposed for what a paper tiger they are to the entire world over the last 4 years.
Oh shit, I muted myself. But don't you know that that if we just bend the knee to China and Russia, like Tucker Carlson suggested, which by the way, Tucker,
Oh,
I
there's a
think,
lot more he said. He said that Sharia law made Islamic
yeah,
societies more advanced in the West, which I don't think that's true. And I
but
know people are going to say, "What about Dubai?" Dubai does not really have any Sharia law.
yeah,
I
people
mean, it
understand like
does, but it's
the most advanced parts of the Middle East, they really don't. They
they
claim
don't.
they have
The most
Sharia law,
advanced
but they
part,
really
like
don't.
the most advanced parts of the Middle East, are basically Western countries with some Islamic flavor
Yeah,
on
it's
it.
like it
Like
has it technically might have some elements of it, but it really
it's
doesn't.
true for every third world country. The most advanced parts of China, Latin America, India, even like Southeast Asia, they're like the most western parts of those
Yeah,
countries and regions, right? And the least advanced parts are basically like rural villages where they act like they did 500 years ago. You see this in China and the Middle East and in India. The worst parts of India are the parts that act like they lived 500 years ago, and you know what I mean.
yeah.
But yeah, no, and also Tucker said that or he Tucker blamed colonialism for Islamic terrorism
Oh
and
God.
Islamism, which is like even worse in
How
my
is
opinion.
that? How is this like not a left wing talk? It is a left wing talking point. That's been their talking point for 50 years about Israel. It doesn't matter what you think about Israel.
No, he didn't even blame Israel. He blamed the West, and some
Yeah,
people
but
might
like,
argue that
yeah, I should, yeah, they blame the West, they
he
blame
blamed
Israel,
like
they blame,
the Western powers, which
yeah,
some people would argue includes Israel, but he wasn't just talking about Israel.
I guess, yeah. I thought he'd like just meant Israel, but like, guys, this is a Democrat talking point. But when he said the thing about like is like Sharia law, guys, I I think he converted to Islam. That's my hot take.
I just think he's being paid by Qatar. I wouldn't be surprised if he converts to Islam, though. He really is Tucker Carlson. I know some of the people who
Gosh,
use that as
that's
a
lame.
pejorative. Him and Mark Levin should be fucking locked in a box. Actually, I don't know. Mark Levin, as annoying as he is, I find him. I don't know. Him and Tucker are equally annoying. I would say that right now.
I don't
You
know.
there?
I'm
Yeah.
here. Daniel for 10. Interesting side topic. I've heard people say Ted Cruz will make a fabulous Supreme Court justice. I'd argue he even be great as Chief Justice. What is your take on this piece? I think Ted Cruz is an awful senator, but would be actually be a good Supreme
He
Court
would be an
justice.
excellent Supreme Court
Yeah.
justice, and he would get confirmed. Everybody would want to get. I don't know if he's as hated in the Senate as he was 10 years ago, but I don't
No.
think he's like well liked either. No, Ted Cruz would be a great Supreme Court justice. He'd be better than any of the Trump three. He'd not be as good as Alito or Thomas or Scalia, but he'd be 95% as good. He'd be better than Roberts or ACB. That's for sure. Better than Kavanaugh or Gorsuch. He'd be very good. Yeah.
All right. A glitch Evie for 2. Tucker is Shia and he's the next Atola. Yeah, that's real.
Tucker Carlson.
Gosh.
That is a funny nickname, and it's actually kind of been vindicated.
I don't know what to
Um,
think, but when he's saying like we gotta like, oh gosh, I don't know what to think.
we gotta institute Shakira law. Shakira law. I call it Shakira law as a joke.
Yeah. All right, everybody. So I think that's kind of it. If you guys did enjoy today's stream, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, to join the channel today. We'll be back soon, probably tomorrow, probably. I'm guessing. We'll see. Okay. Godspeed. Hold up, everybody. Wait a minute. We got some
We got
breaking news
breaking
on the
news
Supreme Court race. Hold on.
wait, Supreme Court race
In
like in a.
Wisconsin.
Oh, okay. I'm all ears.
Hold up. Wait, what?
This is by.
The conservative is leading. Wait, what?
No way. No way. This
Hold
is.
up. I gotta look this up. Among likely voters, those who are that say they're certain to. What the heck? I'm trying to figure this out. Yeah, from Marquette. I gotta look this up. I gotta confirm this for myself because I don't believe Luke.
Yeah, I don't. When is the last time a conservative led in this type of race in Wisconsin?
I don't know. American Notice for 2. The breaking news meme for rap happened. Yeah. Hold up. I
Big
gotta
news.
big news. I gotta pull this up. Uh. Okay, they must have deleted it. Okay, that was fake.
No, it wasn't fake.
I don't
It
fuck.
says that.
Give me the link for this. Okay, so apparently, yeah, among likely voters, those who what the hell? Okay, yeah, I think that's fake.
I think it was. I think they made a mistake, but I think the conservative is polling well, though. I think that's what.
Okay, there we go. So, according to this poll, okay, we had a miscommunication there. Okay, we're still losing.
Too good to be true. Too
Yeah,
good to be
damn
true.
it, Luke. Those
No,
who
no,
say
Luke,
they're
it was real Texan.
oh
It got deleted.
motherfucker.
It got deleted. I think the people running the polling outlet were like, deleted
Amen.
it because they wanted. I don't know why. I don't know why, dude.
Among likely voters, those who say they're certain to vote in April, 30% support Taylor and 22% support Lazar. Oh yeah, it's over. But there's still a lot of undecideds. So
You're telling
yay.
me there's a chance?
There's still a chance. We're getting fucking crushed. Yeah, okay. We miscommunication, freaking real Texan. Damn it, real Texan.
You gave us hope for like 1 second.
Yeah, I mean, damn it. Okay. So now I think it's time to end the stream. If you guys did enjoy today's stream, don't forget to like the stream, share with your friends, all that good stuff. We shall see you guys in the next stream, video, or wherever you see us at. Oh gosh. All right. Godspeed.